As new designers, we're often told that we need to work for free in order to get started and build our portfolio. And now, while that totally works as a strategy, the question becomes, where does the free work end exactly? And at what point in the process do you call yourself a real designer and start charging real designer prices? Well, for this past Square Secrets and Square Secrets business student, that day came maybe a lot sooner than expected. So in today's video, I'm so excited for you to hear the story of Alyssia, how she jump-started her business, got clients, and booked over $22,000 worth of projects. And I should mention, that all happened within 4 months. Yes, 4 months. Amazing. So if you've been working away at trying to start your own web design business for quite some time and you're just not maybe seeing the traction that you wanted to, then you're going to love this interview.
So just to introduce myself, my name is Alyssia. I'm the owner of Virtual Freedom Design. Before I started my business, I was in school full-time to be a teacher, and I was also working at a school, Montessori school, actually, to gain experience and get the typical 9-to-5 job that I thought was in store for my future. I've always been creative, but I'm not an artist myself. So I just didn't have a way to let that outlet out growing up. And growing up, I'm very much a planner. I always think about my future. So I went the 9-to-5 route, and that's what I thought was in store for me. And then I actually started getting kind of close to that. I was working full time, but I was also in school. So, feeling that burnout. And then I'm like, I'm 21 years old. Why do I have burnout? I don't have kids. I just kept thinking other people, they've been doing it for how many years? And I just think like I said, I'm a planner. So I'm thinking, how am I going to do this for my whole life? Be happy professionally, very happy personally, but professionally is important too. So I started looking up how to work online. COVID happened, and I really started seeing people working online, and I'm very good with going to school online. I learned very well that way, and I like being in my own place. And so when I realized how many people were working online, I got so jealous. And I actually, even though I was working at a school, I still was going in person, and I was like, I need to find a way to work online. And so I started looking up online job opportunities, and I came across actually the virtual assistant world, which is different than the design world. So I was like, I'm going to be a virtual assistant. And I totally went gung ho on it. I actually bought a course and started my virtual assistant business. But while I was creating it, I really loved creating my website and branding for myself. And I just kept thinking oh my God, I would just love to do it. And when I was creating my virtual assistant packages, I kept getting the, adding in the branding or the graphics. And that was the part that I was super excited to offer. And so once I started recognizing that in myself, I'm like, I should just, people talked about niching down to different industries. And I just decided to niche down within my service. And that's when I decided to go all in on design. So I had absolutely no experience before starting this business or before taking the course. I started off my business actually going for branding, and I knew that web design was a natural extension of branding. And so I knew I needed to get into it. And that's when I started looking at different platforms. Squarespace really stood out to me because I'm very much so about user friendliness, not only for me, but to explain it for my potential clients. And I started getting into Squarespace, and even though it was user friendly, I didn't feel confident enough offering it as a service yet. And so I wanted to find a course that would really make me be like, I'm going to create the best Squarespace site for you. And that's how I found Paige. But beforehand, I had no experience at all. So I landed my first few clients, I guess, within the first week of me launching my business, because what I did is I really set up the back end of my business before I started marketing myself. I made sure my CRM, my Honeybook was in order. I made sure my website was in order, my branding, my Instagram. I made sure everything looked as if I was a running business before I started really marketing myself. And once I felt ready, I did a launch discount of like 50% off all of my services. And I really, really marketed that, that launch discount. And that's what helped me get my first client. And I think my first client was from a Facebook group. So Facebook groups were a lot of where my initial ones came from. And now it's more so Instagram. Since I didn't have any experience or clients to market myself, I just came up with my dream client, actually using Pages within the course. She has a section where you can determine who your ideal client is. And I loved that section. I was like, I'm going to create the perfect person to design for my ideal client. And I did that. And then I created their business. And one type of company I always envisioned branding for were florists. And so I created a brand and a website for a florist company I made up called The Floor. And I just made all of this up. And I just made it the best I possibly could and put all of my love into it. I didn't see it as a practice project. I saw it as like a real client. And so I created a whole presentation for it. And then I shared that presentation and the screenshot of the website I made for it. I shared it in Facebook groups, basically just asking for people's feedback. I wasn't like promoting myself. I just asked for feedback. And that was another way, because in Facebook groups, you can't promote yourself. But I just wanted my like work to be shown. And a lot of people resonated with the style. And I had people reach out to me afterwards. And since they were reaching out to me, I had that launch discount already ready for them. And so they were like ready to sign up right away. So after that launch discount was, I was getting pretty busy and I was having people book me out within like 3 months. And then at that point, even though I hadn't even started on those projects, I was like, I don't want the launch discount to go on forever, obviously, because I knew at that point that I would have the experience. And so I put a deadline on that launch discount. I said, okay, this Friday, it's going to be done. And then I had those last minute people that wanted to get in, and they were included in that discount. But then after that point, a lot of those people, since I was able to grow my portfolio and have all those testimonials, and then what's it called, referrals, that helped a ton. And now a lot of my clients I do get through Instagram, but it's because of that initial launch discount that I have all of those projects in my portfolio, and all of those referrals from all those clients as well. I'm fully booked until late November. December, I have openings, but I'm actually going to use that month to work on a new program that I'm putting together and a new website for myself, my own business. And so I'm not taking any more clients for the rest of 2021, and it is July. So I started putting together all of the ideas and everything in December. That's when I started the virtual assistant course. And then for about 4 or 5 months, I put everything into making the business ready, like I said, so that I knew that when I had my first client, I could give them the best service. And I wasn't like scatterbrained, I really wanted to have a solid business because I was leaving my job and a school for this, so this wasn't just like a little thing. In my gut, I knew it was right for me, but I had to take it seriously, especially because it's a decision for my husband and I, for me to leave my full-time job and stuff. So in my head, I always knew I had to make it work for myself and for us. And then in March is when I started taking on clients. And then because that launch discount, it helped me get booked out for the few weeks that I didn't even really have to. I marketed myself in a way of like showing my work, and I show up and engage on my Instagram every single day. I'm very consistent with that, but I haven't had to do another discount or anything like that and be like, oh, get my my branding service. I have 25% off until Friday. I haven't had to do that because I have been booked out a few months, that when people trickle in, I just add them to my calendar and I keep adding them out, And so that's, I guess, how I was able to book out. The launch discount helped a lot. And I definitely recommend it, at least if you're able to, because I know financially, like I knew I was taking a little bit of a hit, but I also knew I had absolutely no experience. And anyone who asks me, that's what I always say. I'm like, if you're able to do a launch discount, and when you do the launch discount, give your clients the best service that you can. Like something I do for every client, I've done it since day one, is I send them a client gift. It's very branded. It's very virtual freedom design, my business. It has like tissue paper. That's my business. And it's just very ultra branded. And it has a handwritten letter and everything. And even though the first clients, I wasn't making a ton of money, I still treated them like they were like queens, you know, but they will, or at least from my knowledge, they have always really helped me with referrals and wanting, because that meant so much to them, that they're wanting to get my name out there, and they help me out a lot actually. So it's like I started a lot of friendships along the way too, which I think helped. I actually have a free resource that I just created, like a freebie, explaining how to put together a client gift for other people's businesses, what makes sense for them, what to include, the note, how you can actually use it to make more money and income in a turnabout way, and talk about your referral system in it, and put a little note with some business cards. You can, in the letter, tell them, if you sign on to my next project within the next month, you'll, I would love to keep working with you. And in exchange for your loyalty, I'll give you 20% off that project. You know, so there's ways that you can maximize, even though it's just a kind thing to do. It's also, in my head, an investment within my own business. So what I was beginning and charging, because again, I was just starting out and I had no experience at all. It would just make sense if I tell you what packages I had. So I had just branding, just web design, and then branding web design is like a couple. And so just branding, I charge, it was like 1,000. Just web design was 2,000. And then the couple was 3,000. That was starting out. And then my discount was 50% off of that. And so after the 50% off, me even just getting a client that was willing to pay the full price, I was like, no way people are going to pay me to do this. This is like just awesome, you know? And at that time, I thought that it seemed like so much. Like I was like, no one's ever going to pay this. But I knew the amount of energy that I was going to have to put into it. It was never a question of how much money, it was just how much energy. And that's someone, I don't know who told me that. I think a mentor, I heard that one time, is charge for your energy. And so that was what it was then. Now, my recent packages that include branding and web design, because I really do both of them together, they're at like 5,000 or 6,000. And then, so that was in that couple of months. And right now I'm not taking on any more clients for 2021. And for 2022, I am changing my structure completely. So I'm going to be creating this new program. I'm not sure what the name's going to be called yet, but basically it's not only going to be including branding and web design, it's also going to be including the copy for the websites, one free freebie that goes with it, blog posts, so like a blog launch, social media. It is a huge, basically like get your business started rather than just branding and web design. So it has a lot more strategy in it. But as I've evolved in my business, I've been creating these awesome brands, these awesome websites for people. And I know that I just help them with so much more if I could just replicate what I did in my own business with them. And so that is the structure I'm going. I believe it will only be, it's going to be very high level, very high support, and a high investment, because I'll be working with one client, I believe, for about 3 months and really like within their business next to them every day. And I plan on charging 15,000 to launch that program. So that's my plan. That's the energy I know I'll go into it. So that's the plan for next year. I think the first thing I did was, after Paige's exercise that helped me, it was the ideal client avatar exercise that's within her course. It really helped me figure out exactly who my dream client was. And instantly I knew she was a woman, because I just relate to them. I talk like a woman, like that's who I can design for and do my best designs for. And so instantly I knew I wanted to work with women. I knew I wanted to work with some type of creative field, but I didn't want to work with the same one every single time because I can get bored pretty quickly. So I knew like virtual assistants because I had that experience in it, but also like florists, bakers, authors, and I just wanted a huge range like that. So knowing that I had all of those people in mind, I really wanted to create my brand and my website for those people, necessarily my favorite colors. And I didn't choose my favorite, like who I would go to probably actually doesn't even look like my own brand. But I was kind of hanging out in the Facebook groups, hanging out on Instagram, looking at all these accounts of people who were my dream clients. And then a style kind of started to come across. And I just made my style it. And I basically branded for them. And I've actually had clients say, which is it's pretty much my main marketing tool. As soon as they saw my Instagram, they knew that like I got it, like their style, because they had experiences with other graphic designers and maybe it didn't go as well. They would say they just didn't get it. And as soon as they saw mine and they saw I was capable for creating that for myself, actually I was creating it for them, but they wouldn't know that. They knew. And then my website just topped it off. So, and then on top of that, being really relatable and talking to them like they're my friends. And I never talk to someone in the DMs or when they're emailing me as I don't see them as leads. I don't like doing that. I just see them as like, I see them as my friends, honestly. And that's how I feel like my friends are like people that I don't even know, but somehow I feel like I do know them. And I think that really helps make me stand out, is not seeing them just as like money, So like that, you have to treat them like, they're real people, and then they're going to want to work with you because who wants to be like pushed? No one likes that. So I really put myself in their shoes always. No, I don't think it's just design skills. I think that design and style definitely have helped me stand out, like I said, because I branded for my particular dream client. But I think your personality and just being as real as possible, which everyone says that. Everyone's like, just be yourself. But that includes like talking about your mistakes that you've made, talking about your business goals, having people along on the journey with you and seeing yourselves as like you're all in it together. That has helped so much, because then I have people who I'll probably never work with, but they're so like involved in my story that they're supporting my business in that way. And I would definitely recommend taking the time every day, no matter what your marketing tool is, and really connecting with your audience as much as possible and making it feel very inclusive and like kind of like, I guess, your second family in a way, and working from home, it's actually really nice. And you can think of it as mental health too, because working from home, that's something I miss, is my coworkers and the friendships I had, but now I do have them just in a different format. And so, yeah, really taking advantage of that. I actually love my days, and because I can wake up at whatever time I want. I've always been a morning riser, so I try to stay on that schedule, and I get to go to the gym. I get to come back and make breakfast for my husband and I, and I get to work then and serve my clients, do any morning meetings that I have, but mostly just working from my computer. I take tons of breaks because for like brain power reasons, it helps me a lot to go outside and take my dog on a walk, be able to take her to the park, and then making dinner for my husband and I again, and then going to bed. And there's some days, of course, that I'm waking up at 5 a.m. because I have stuff to do later and I need to get work in. And there's some days that I'm up until 3 o'clock. That's just how it is. But I never make myself like, oh, I need to be on the strict schedule. But at the same time, I'm not like, I'm going to have no schedule at all. So I very much balance it and do what feels right on that particular day. But it's awesome. I love it. I think in the beginning of my business, I definitely put in a lot of time, and it not only felt like, it didn't feel like work to me though. I was just obsessed with starting it, and I really truly loved it. Now that I'm getting into my routine, I'm figuring out that balance is really important. So I do work, I would say, probably 40 hours a week at least, because I am so booked right now. Next year, I would like to calm that down a bit while hopefully making the same amount of money, which is why I'm creating that program. I'm just thinking ahead. But I've gone on some amazing trips during the last couple of months too. Like my husband and I, since we've been married, we never got to go do a honeymoon or anything. And we went to an island off the coast of South California, which was amazing. And I was able to plan that so last minute. We've gone to Vegas, we've gone to the Grand Canyon. We've just done so many amazing things in the last few months, and like things that I just felt like I don't know if I would have ever been able to do. But now that I'm so like, I don't need to tell anyone that I'm taking off. I can just plan it and do it. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's done a whole 180. I feel like when I was going to school and working full time, I was so like living in this hamster wheel, I feel like, and it was very weird for me because personally, like my husband's my best friends and we just have the best marriage ever. So I was so happy personally, but professionally, I like would spend my days ultimately not happy. I love my students, but I just knew it wasn't, I didn't know how I was going to be able to sustain it, I guess. And I also felt like with being so young and having this idea of what my life would be, I wanted a full life. I wanted to be traveling and doing all that stuff. So I felt like I was like missing out, I guess. And now I just feel like I'm the luckiest person, like I feel kind of bad when I have my friends that have to miss things because of work, because I just know that it'll never be an issue for me again. And my life feels very free. And it's actually why I named my business Virtual Freedom, because that's just what it offered me, is like freedom to do what I wanted throughout my day. The reason I feel like I really took it seriously around that time to start my own business, and I was like, okay, I've got to do this now or never, is like I said, I'm a planner. So my husband and I knew we were going to want to start having kids. And I was thinking ahead, like, how am I going to be able to be home, be the mom that I want, but also have my own sense of independence and have something that's mine. And now I know that we can, and I'm ready, and then I'll still have my own thing, but that I can be the person I want and have the days that I want and enjoy it the way I have been. Of course, I think that it can be really, really intimidating to leave everything you feel like and to go a completely different route, to tell your family, your parents, your friends, and to possibly just feel that pressure of, okay, what if it doesn't work? But I really, really suggest you know that deep down you're going to get what you need done to make it work, because I feel like that was something that I was really nervous about, especially when I decided, I'm like, oh my God, I have to tell people, I have to like market myself or sell myself. And I'm so bad at that. But what I did is I had those feelings initially, and I feel like I addressed them, and I was like, you need to be confident or no one's going to be confident in you. So kind of like a fake it till you make it type of thing. And when you talk about it, use every single time that you talk about it with a family or friend, think of it as like a business skill that you're learning, ways to talk about your business and to feel confident. And I really always reminded myself of that. And there were so many times that I had a conversation with like a friend and told her, or told like my parents, and hearing like, oh, like that's good. Like not from my parents, more like from friends and stuff, like, oh, that's good. But, you could kind of hear their doubt a little bit. And I remember like telling my husband, like, people doubt me. What am I going to do? Like I'm so like almost embarrassed to even talk about it. And I think he was just like my rock in that case, and so much, and really gave me the confidence, like what you're doing, a lot of people don't have the guts to do it. Like they have these ideas and they'll never do it. And if you fail, if that ever did happen, you really didn't, because like you'll always know in your heart that you completed something you thought of and you tried, So I think just really understanding that what you're gonna try to do, it's gonna be hard and there's gonna be times of doubt, but there's also gonna be even more times of like, wow, I can't believe I came this far, you know, and just being proud of yourself and like really cutting yourself some slack, but also like knowing that deep down, like if you know that it'll work out, it'll work out. Because I know like with my business, my best friend, she's asked me multiple times, she's like, Alyssia, like, I'm not gonna lie, when you first told me about this, I didn't know like how it was gonna go. Like you're telling me you're gonna quit your job and school. And she's like, did you like how do you feel? Do you feel like you're doing so well? And I'm so proud of you. Now, and I'm like, honestly, like I just knew it would happen. I had like a gut feeling it was mine and that I would make it happen. So it was never a question of depending on other people if it was going to make it work. I knew I would make it work. So I think having that mindset really, really helped me. And I really recommend you like taking some time talking to someone you trust. For me, it's my husband. Maybe for you, it's your best friend. Telling them your like deepest fears about it, your worries about failure, whatever, and just saying it will make you feel better, I guess. And then trying to just create a healthy mindset about it. I would definitely recommend taking her course. I know for a fact that I never would have felt comfortable listing that as a service if I hadn't taken her course. And there's a lot, even though Squarespace in particular, it's like a easy interface, but there's things that I know I would have missed and it would have taken me probably hours to figure out. Because if you're really good at learning through video and visuals like I am, that is definitely the route to go, because there's help docs and stuff that they always offer. But when I remember like reading through them and being like, what does this mean? Like, I just need someone to show me once and I can do it. And that's exactly what Paige's course did for me. And so I would 100% recommend it. I thank Paige and all the other courses, but she was the only web design course I had to take. So in web design, like she was it and she helped me a lot. And so like my life has changed because of it. So it's awesome. And I thank them for it.
I hope you found that video as inspiring as I did, and thank you so much, Alyssia, for sharing your story and all your amazing successes with us. Now, if you are also looking to build a web design business, then I invite you to come join myself and over 3,000 students in my Score Secrets and Score Secrets business courses. To get more information on the courses, you can head to paigebrunton.com/courses. I'll pop a link to that here and in the description for you below too. Now, if you are looking to become a website designer, the other thing you need to do is subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I share tons of content and I have some more amazing student interviews coming your way too. So hit the subscribe button and the little bell button to be notified. And if you found this video helpful, if you found Alyssia's story helpful, then also be sure to give it a like. Now, if you're looking for something else to watch, check out these videos too.